When I went out to the consulate in New York, I did not expect or realize that this would turn into me considering becoming a dual citizen of the Philippines and the United States. Oh my gosh. Hi. I think I'm super backlit, so I can't really use this, but I just wanted to start filming in case I can use some of this for B-roll or some fun stuff like that. Because that's what happens when you start vlogging, is you start filming everything. Mabuhay and welcome. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tez Milan. I am a Filipino American creative on a mission to discover my lost Philippine heritage, to learn as much as I can and to share that with you. You know the spiel. Last week, I went on a little adventure into New York City. I decided to go to the Philippine Consulate, which is on 5th Avenue, the most amazing location ever. I accidentally discovered it in 2020 while I was filming the music video for Be Here Now, Dito Na Tayo. We were walking down 5th Avenue, you know, just minding my own business. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the Philippine flag. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that's the Philippine Consulate. I'm walking past and it actually ended up in the video. You can check it out right here. Yeah, so then ever since I did that, I was like, oh, well, I should go visit the Philippine Consulate while I'm in New York. The reason why I went to the Philippine Consulate last week was to talk to somebody about the upcoming Philippine presidential election, which is being held on May 9th. All of these candidates are... hold on, I'm gonna check out and see who all of the main candidates are. Philippine presidential election 2002 presidential candidates. No, not 2000. I did say 2002, didn't I? I meant 2020. What year is it? Oh boy, okay. Candidates in the 2022 Philippine presidential election. I don't wanna go to Wikipedia. I'm gonna go to SCMP. I don't know who SCMP, okay, except This Week in Asia. So there were at least 50 candidates. Oh my gosh, okay. So there were at least 50 candidates who initially applied to become president of the Philippines. The main runners are Panfilo Lacson, who is the senator and former police chief of the Philippines. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., former senator known as Bongbong. Francisco Isko Morena Domagaso. Ooh. The Manila mayor. I believe he's also a former actor. Manny Pacquiao. We all know Manny Pacquiao. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize Manny Pacquiao is my age. He is a boxer turned senator. And then Lenny Robredo, who is currently the vice president. So while I was there, I was just really curious to ask some questions about the Philippine presidential election, how it works, and you know, if you're living abroad, how you can vote, if you're, you know, a Philippine citizen. When I arrived, there were several people there who were dropping off their ballots. And I was like, oh, that's really great. That was something that I didn't know, if you could be a Philippine citizen and live abroad and submit your vote remotely. And when I went to the consulate, that was confirmed. They actually have a box in the consulate right at the front when you first walk in. It's just to the right, and you can submit your mail-in ballot and vote for who you want to have as president. I was so excited to see that because I was really wondering if the Philippine elections were only allowed for people who were actually physically in the Philippines. So now that I knew that, I started to ask some questions of somebody who was there helping the consulate, and he was like, well, are you a citizen? And I said, well, no. He's like, are you a dual citizen? And I was like, what? And I'm like, no, I don't think I can be a dual citizen. He's like, well, were you born in the Philippines? And I said, no, my parents were born in the Philippines, but I was born here in the United States. He walked me over to a small table and he gave me this piece of paper. This piece of paper has information from the Philippine Consulate General in New York about dual citizenship. And I was like, well, I can't do that because I don't even know if my parents are Philippine citizens. I know that they became US citizens. They got their green card. They became US citizens when they immigrated back in the early 70s. He was like, no, you can apply. And I was like, what? He's like, yes. He's like, here are all the rules about becoming a dual citizen. Then on the back are the requirements. For example, there's the principal applicant, natural-born Filipinos who have lost their Philippine citizenship by naturalization in a foreign country. Hence my parents back in the early 70s when they immigrated to the United States and gave up their Philippine citizenship in order to become US citizens. There's also a contingency for each dependent child, children who are below 18 years of age, which I am not, and or born when parents were already a naturalized foreign citizen. That would have been me. I was kind of confused by this because I kept asking him, I'm like, are you really sure about this? And he's like, yeah. I need to do a little bit more digging to figure out whether I can actually become a dual citizen. Okay, so the Philippine Consulate General in New York says Dual Citizenship R.A. 225. So this is the law that enables Filipinos who lost their citizenship through naturalization to another country to have dual citizenship. If the child was born in the US and both parents are already naturalized U.S. citizens at the time of child's birth, the adult child or parents can apply for recognition of Filipino citizenship at the Bureau of Immigration in the Philippines. A person who is 18 years old must apply in his/her own capacity. That's me. I think this is my in. I'm going to fill out some of this paperwork. Petition in the form of letter request. Do I have to report my birth to the appropriate? Okay, so there's this one thing, it's letter J. Wow, this is like really super complicated. Please see recognition of Filipino citizenship. Okay, here we go. Ah! No! Oh, gosh, this is so confusing. Okay, so I'm just gonna find somebody I can talk to at the Philippine Consulate here in New York so that I can talk to somebody about what the heck is going on since I am older, not a dependent and not under the age of 18, and find out what it is that I can do to become a dual citizen of the Philippines. Hey guys, okay, so it is now Sunday night, a few minutes before 9 p.m. I'm going to secure an appointment to speak with somebody about dual citizenship. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Ah, here we go. Okay, Tuesday, May 10th, 9 a.m. Thanks, your appointment has been booked. I got my appointment. All right, here we go. We're gonna ask some questions. Wait, May 10th. I'm not in town! No! You know what I'm gonna do? I think I just might go back down there because I have an appointment on a day that I'm not even in New York City. I just have to go and see if I can just speak with somebody. We're gonna make this happen. All right, let's go. The really cool thing about becoming a dual citizen of the Philippines is that there are benefits. For example, I could visit the Philippines and I could visit for as long as I want. I could just stay there. Another thing I could do is I could also buy and sell land in the Philippines if I have a Philippine passport. There's a lot of people that also are retiring in the Philippines. Once I decide to retire, I may not want to be here in the United States any longer and may want to find a new home, possibly in the Philippines. I can practice my profession in the Philippines as long as I get the proper licenses and permits to do so. So for example, if I was a doctor, which I'm not, but if I were a doctor and wanted to go to the Philippines and practice, medicine, then I would just need to acquire the right permits and licenses that would enable me to do that. The other thing too that I also learned is that I could technically run for political office. However, I would have to renounce my other citizenship. So if I had dual citizenship between the Philippines and the United States and I decided that I wanted to run for political office in the Philippines, I would need to renounce my US citizenship, become a full Philippine citizen, and then I could apply to run for office. I don't know if I would ever think to do that, but sometimes life brings you things that you never expect, and I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Another really big thing that I could do as a dual citizen is that I could vote in the Philippine election. Unfortunately, it's too late for me to vote in Monday's Philippine presidential election, but in any future elections, I would be able to then submit a mail-in ballot and voice my thoughts on where it is that I want the country to go. I think that's important. I think it's important to be able to vote and to be able to contribute to the progress and the development of a country that you are connected to. Like really connected to, which is what it is that I am for the Philippines. I just talked to Erwin, who's checking in people in line. He's not so sure I can get dual citizenship. But he's gonna let me talk to somebody inside and ask questions. So we'll see how it goes. Hi! You're funny. So I got some answers, not necessarily the answers that I was hoping for, because I was hoping to be able to do it at the consulate here. The lady that I got to speak with, she gave me the websites that I need to look into. There's some forms that I'm gonna need to fill out, and I have to reach out to the Bureau of Philippine Immigration. I may actually have to go to the Philippines to do this. They only administer the paperwork here. They aren't actually the ones who are like processing and like making the decisions. In order to move forward with this, I'm gonna have to reach out and see if I can process this application because my situation is so unique. It doesn't make it easier for me to apply since I'm already a full-on adult. I'm no longer 18, and then because my parents had already naturalized, it just makes it more challenging. So we'll see. I'm not gonna give up hope. I will continue this journey. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, see what happens. If I have to go to the Philippines to make it happen, we might have to do that. So come on with me. Thanks for watching. Paalam. Goodbye. Wish me luck. Hey y'all, what's up? I am in Midtown on 5th Avenue. I just stopped by the Philippine Consulate. I had some filming to do. I don't know if I already said that. And now I am on my way to Dough Donuts because I want to try this ube donut that was put together by Indulgent Eats. Do you have the ube donut?
Yes, you
Oh my gosh. There it is. It's perched, it's waiting. So I think this is gonna be the perfect place to try this donut because I've got like my flowers and my donut. It's covered in like purple sugar. I'm telling you, the ube donut has something because that guy just asked for a bite.